In this video here, I'm going to cover how to leg yield on a circle. You're going to do this by picking up a circle, riding around. I've got the barrel here as the center of my circle. And so I'm just going to ride around, and I've got a size circle that I want to ride. So I use the barrel. It's my center, so can I keep the same distance from the barrel the whole time? Now as I'm going around to leg yield, it's like I'm just going to enlarge the circle. So he's going to keep the walk. I keep the band and I just shift my weight out. Come on with a little inside leg. And now we've enlarged the circle. We're farther away, so I can stay on this size circle. You know, you might think of it as like a bullseye, or when you play darts, a target. And so you have the center of the target is the barrel, and then you have a ring size just outside the barrel, and then another ring a little bit bigger, and another ring a little bit bigger, and another ring bigger, and so on. You know, as big as your arena if you wanted to. But you're going to go from one ring to the next ring in your leg yield. So I'm walking around in this ring here. Or another way to think of it is if I had white lines every 3 or 4 feet apart, just making a bigger and bigger circle. And I'm going to leg yield out into the bigger circle. Now I can leg yield out, and so this is plenty far enough away. Now I'm just going to spiral back in. So I'll just tip the horse's nose and then I will walk right on back in. So we're not going to leg yield back in at this stage. You could eventually. Actually coming back in is more of like a half pass movement, and that's a much more difficult movement, and we'll cover that later on in our lateral movements. But right now I can just spiral back in to the center of my circle, and now we're on the closest ring here, and then I can leg yield out just by shifting my weight out, coming on with a little inside leg and having him go around. You keep the forward going, so it's not about stopping and just going straight out. That's just a straight side pass going out. It's about keeping the walk rhythm, and I'm going to look out ahead of me. So if I come around and I'm on this size ring, I'm going to look out ahead of me to the next ring, yeah, and then we go forward. So my aids are, I've already got the horse bent with my reins, so I don't really need to do anything with that other than keeping them straight on that circle. Because a lot of times when you go to ask the leg yield, we end up pulling, we start bending with the inside rein. We don't want that. We want the leg yield to happen from shifting our weight and then with a little inside leg if you need to. And eventually you won't have to do much with your inside leg at all. It's mostly going to happen with shifting of weight, and Try's actually doing pretty well with that. I shift my weight out, he comes out, and now I pick up the circle again. So don't go too far out too fast, because that's the other thing is you're going to get going and you're just going to go leave the circle. Don't want you leaving the circle. I just want you to go out to the next band, the next ring on the target. And then we can do that the other direction. So we walk around, we're nice and close to the barrel here, and I want to enlarge. I shift my weight out and he goes on out. Then we go straight ahead on the next loop out here. The next target ring. And then I can enlarge the target again just by shifting my weight out. And Try's doing really well with this because of all the work we've done in the bends and counter bends. So he already understands the shifting of the weight, of when I move my weight out, he's to follow that. He wants to get back under me. When I shift my weight, it's not about collapsing the rib cage. It's about shifting over. It's like I'm going to get off the horse, but I don't go that far. And if you look at the saddle horn, when I shift the weight, it rocks. That means it's taking my weight's grabbing the wither and tipping it in or out, saying, hey, follow that feel and let's go out here. Okay. Now this is a great exercise. You can start to play with this early on when as soon as you start asking the horse to start doing some circles and loops and figure eights, anything that's on an arc or a curve, you can start to use the leg yield to help you get the horse up and balanced. The tendency is when you ask the horse to turn, they want to fall in on that shoulder. So you're going to keep the bend to the inside when you make your turn, and then to help them balance and get out is you can do a little leg yields, shift them out. So maybe as you ride into a corner, I'll ride over here into the corner. So a corner is nothing more than a quarter of a circle. So if I come into this corner, it's a quarter of a circle, 3 strides. I make the bend and I can shift my weight out if he were to fall in. So if I ride the corner again, most of the time what happens is we look over there and the horse just goes off over there, falls in. So I might shift my weight out and say, hey, let's get into the corner. In your dressage world or in a dressage test, going deep into the corner is a really important thing. So using your leg yields in the corner can help you. So if I'm coming around, especially at the walk and the trot, you can get pretty deep in the corner, but if the horse falls in, I can just shift my weight out. Say, hey, let's do a little leg yield, getting them back to the rail. And maybe I'm riding the rail and the horse wants to leave, I can just do a little leg yield to say, hey, get back to the rail. So there's lots of variations of how to use the leg yield. So I'll show you the leg yield here now at the trot on the circle. So I'm not going to go super small trotting. Get it a nice rhythmic trot going first, and then I'm going to ask for the leg yield, shifting my weight out and enlarging, yep, and back to the circle again. Now I'm farther away, so I stay on that circle. And shift my weight out. Good, and we can enlarge it even more. And now I'll just spiral back in. Coming around. So this exercise actually does start to help them engage the hind end some. The inside hind, getting it to step up underneath. And there you wanted to stall out, so I say, hey, come on, let's keep going. Shift my weight out, enlarge the circle, yes. Keeping the bend to the inside the whole time. and enlarging, yeah. Now we can circle back the other way. So I just use the barrel as my reference point, so I know when I'm enlarging or I'm not. Because if you just come out here and ride around, you can do it if you're really good with circles, but it's hard to know, oh, did I leg yield on the circle or did I just leave and go off someplace? So I'm on this size here now, and shift my weight out and enlarge. Nice. So I increase that circle a little bit. Now I can help draw the shoulder out a little bit with the outside rein by just opening it and saying go out there. Just be careful with that you're not pulling back on the rein unless the horse is flexing too much. But it's more about just opening, taking and drawing your hand away from the wither to help draw the shoulder out. This is really helpful when they want to fall in. Because you're just saying, hey, let's go on out here. Yes. And following that along. And I cover more of that in the counter bends. So if you're having trouble with that, go back and watch your bends and counter bends videos, and that'll really help you with that. But the leg yield here on the circle is something you can, once you get the understanding of what it is, start incorporating in every circle you do, if it's needed. If your horse is falling in on that circle, just do a little leg yield coming out. And you know, we do it on the ground too, so go back and watch from the ground how you do it there to really help your horse get up and get out. Because even from the ground, they tend to, as you're lunging them, they want to fall in. So you can use the leg yield to really help pick them up and moving them out. And once you get the understanding of that going well, then we'll move on into the shoulder in, counter shoulder in, and that's going to even help with the engagement more. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and we'll see you in the next video.